Hello, good morning. Today's topic is about the photos that change history. It is by Karen Miller Penserio. This is the reflection of the photo itself. Photos that change history is the presentation of real photos by Karen Miller Penserio. The human miseries arise through civil wars and the terrorism in many parts of the world. Protest in Syria began as a peaceful one in 2011, but it turned out into deadly civil war and the citizens had to cross seas for the safety as the refugees and the casualties and accidents took place as the photo of Alian Kurdi. Close to the half million people have been killed, and many of them are civilians. According to the United Nations, more than 6.5 million Syrians are internally displaced. Many have been fled to Lebanon, Jordan, Turkey, and even other countries like Greece to cross by crossing the Mediterranean Sea. The cause of the civil war is because of Islamic State, the Free Syrian Army, government forces, and many other ethnic groups conflict. The crisis has led to social and political urgent unrest, let's see, throughout Europe and even in the United States. For years, the news media have been published photos of Syrian refugees, images of dead, wounded, and they are displayed, but few of them seem to have made much of an impression, and people around the world saw photos of a 3-year-old boy named Alian Kurdi, whose lifeless body had washed up on a Turkish beach. Douglas Brookley, a professor of history at Rice University, says that the photo of Alian Kurdi at once breaks through the noise, and the image hits people in the heart, but not in the head throughout the world. It means people become sensitive, they become emotional, they become serious in the heart, not they do not apply the logic from the head. They had drawn the okay. There is one idea you need to write they, not the. They had drowned, right? Along with a brother. Along with, this is the, not okay, with a brother and mother. Just they had just these Kalyan Kurdi, his mother, that is why they, not the, had drowned in the sea. His brother was drowned, mother was drowned while trying to get from Turkey to Greek island. The Wall Street Journal published an image of Turkish officer carrying Alien's dead body, with the boy's face not quite visible, and the man looking away as if not able to bring himself to look at the child. Other news organizations published an even more stark photo of the dead little boy face down in the surf. Jacob Reed's photographs of poverty in New York City. This is another photo in the late 19th century where some of the photographs, not photographies, photographs or photographies of poverty, right? People may have seen either the dangers of the poor or the plight of the poor. They were the iconic images of poverty in the 19th century, and they remain Americans' perception of poverty in many ways. Pictures of a woman, another just picture that is displayed in the text, and her children in a camp in the Central Valley of California vividly captured the plight of American migrants affected by the Great Depression, widespread drought, and the Dust Bowl. The photos were part of a government effort to save and support. They were very carefully chosen for publication for the support of the government's programs. No film ever changed as many minds or touched as many. This is many, not MANENAY. Please remove this. Many people as that photograph did. Photos are the facts of the real situation and more convincing than what actually it is narrated to people. Before the release of the photos to the public, people heard about the tragedy of the Holocaust in Germany and they heard statistics about it and believed in it. When the photos of concentration camps were seen, suddenly the degradation of human life in a pitiable degree just turned the whole world's head around. In many ways, it led to the creation of Israel, as Professor Brinkley says. Vietnam photo shows that single image reminded the Americans of the fact that their position was not so rosy as their leaders had been telling to the American people. American leaders had told to the American people that the Vietnam War going on well, but when the photos from Vietnam shooting by a chief to a common demonstrator in the Tate Street reflected or gave the full information to the American people and they realized that they were told lie by the leaders. So it was the indication that American war in Vietnam was going to be defeated and within a few weeks the sitting president decided not to run for re-election in the US and to set the end of the war in Vietnam. This photo brought the end of war in Vietnam. To Professor Brown, the photo brought home, that is, this is what he has written, a grim reality. Home means in America, that it was going to be a long and dirty war if the photo was not taken at that time, shooting by the chief to a common young person who had come in the street to demonstrate in the Tate Street, the war would go on and on. The photograph of the Vietnam War children running away with a naked girl who was burned by bombing. That is also another photo. The photo of the little girl running down the street after the South Vietnamese pilot had mistakenly bombed her village and she was burnt over a large percentage of her body. It was the condition of Vietnam and it captured the heads and hearts of the world leaders to take a new decision. Mr. Burns is very happy to say that the girl is alive and well and she is living in Canada and she is a grandmother now. The publication of the photo ended the war in Vietnam. It was the power of the photo to change the history of the world. Nobody knows how long the Vietnam War would go in case of the absence of those photos. It, no, if not released, please correct it. Not it, if not released. Not it. This is if. If not released. So Earth rise. This is another photo taken from. Is a photo taken by astronaut Bill Anders in 1968. Brought the concept of the environmental degradation and protection, new policy how to protect the earth, how to protect the ecology and environment. This picture of the planet Earth shows that Earth not is not going to last long. So the principle came there, thoughts came there with that photo. Mr. Bonds describes the photos are the symbols of the moment. They have the power to transform the agonizing slow conversation of politics and diplomacy to a kind of urgency that actually permits all as human beings to transcend the limitations imposed by the institutions. Photos are the tools to the world's leaders and others to take right and appropriate action and making decisions to avoid the disaster to the humanity. The photos published in the text of the author has changed uh, an ongoing history of the time. So it is rightly said that a picture can tell more than thousand words can express. Photos are the facts rather than mere listening story narrated by the media and the administrator. And it contains, Mr. Photo contains the truth to see by the people of the entire world. No one can be untouched and unemotional by the sights of the photos, as the writer Karen Miller has presented in her essay. The photos have the power to change the thoughts, policies, and plans of destructive aspect of life, and they can melt the hearts of even a stone-hearted person. The selected photos of the of not the of only. Please remove this the of Karen Miller. Penserio has done great and even unimaginable historical change in the world, mainly in policy making and taking decisions in the wars by the presidents of the world. This is how the writer has presented complete picture how it was there in the world at the time of war and in other depression and other situation in US and in the world. So it is through the picture people know more and better than the words have expressed. Okay, these are some of the ideas. Thank you.